Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Pixel and welcome to the Sapphire Tech YouTube channel. Today we are going to be checking out Fortnite Battle Royale running on the 8GB version of the SAPPHIRE Nitro RX 580. Now, normally when we make one of these videos, we would spend a few moments looking at the performance and then the rest of the time we would spend looking at the game itself. However, this time around I would like to try something a little bit different. First off, we will take a quick look at the game and then we will focus the rest of the video looking at the performance across a wide range of graphical settings. We will talk about the pros, the cons of each setup and why sometimes running a game maxed out may not be the most efficient way to play. All the gameplay that you have watched up until this point has been recorded at max settings at 1080p. In-game this is known as the Epic preset. The CPU we are using is the i9-7900X running at 4.5 GHz. We've also got 64GB of RAM in the system and the GPU is the 8GB version of the SAPPHIRE Nitro RX 580. This means that provided that you don't have any bottlenecks, this is the performance you can expect for yourself on this GPU. And as you can see, we have absolutely no problems with maintaining a frame rate well above the 60 FPS mark, which is awesome, but I do think we can do better, and we will do later in this video. But first, let's have a quick look at Fortnite Battle Royale itself. Now, not only is this the most popular Battle Royale game on the market, it is arguably the most popular game in the entire world right now, which means that there's a pretty good chance that you already know everything there is to know about it. However, just in case you don't, let's go over the basics. Fortnite is a game about survival. You and 99 other players parachute down onto a huge island with nothing but a pickaxe, and over the next 20-ish minutes, each of you have to search for loot, gather resources and survive, in hopes of being the last man or woman standing and earning that coveted victory royale. Fortnite's standout feature when compared to other Battle Royale games is the ability to build and destroy almost anything. Caught out in the open? Build some cover. Enemy hiding behind cover, open it up. This dynamic means that Fortnite manages to hit a really nice balance between both aggressive and defensive playstyles, something that many other BR games have struggled with, where the defenders generally hold most of the advantages. As someone that has always favoured a more aggressive playstyle, this is something I really like about Fortnite. And if you've not tried out Fortnite for yourselves, you can download it totally free on the Epic game launcher and jump straight into the action. Now, whenever a game becomes so popular, it is inevitable that a lot of players will start taking it extremely seriously. And part of this will revolve around making sure that they've given themselves every single advantage possible. When it comes to graphics, there are really two goals. One, high frame rates, to ensure that you've got a smooth and consistent experience while reducing input latency as much as possible. And two, visual clarity, to ensure that you get as much useful information as possible without being distracted by the pretty graphics. This is why if you check out any of the competitive streamers for Fortnite, the game will likely look a lot uglier than expected. Most pro players will be playing the game with everything set to the lowest apart from the view distance, which is normally set to either high or epic, so they can see stuff like player structures and loot at longer distances. If we run using these settings on the SAPPHIRE Nitro RX 580, we see our frame rates rocket all the way up to an average of around 240 frames per second. Again, this is provided that you've got a CPU that is also capable of not bottlenecking the graphics card, so please do bear that in mind. To be clear, I also understand that very few of you guys out there are running 240Hz monitors at the moment, and that means that you're not going to physically see all of these glorious frames. However, these extra frames will help minimize any input latency, so while you may not see a difference, you should more than certainly feel one. I certainly find tracking players and performing quick, accurate flick shots much easier at these settings, and I also find myself losing the enemy much less due to the lack of pretty graphics getting in my way. Put simply, playing like this is pretty much an outright advantage. However, I do totally appreciate that this is not how everybody wants to play a game. And I do believe that there is a happy medium to be had. After spending some time looking at all the graphical settings and their impact on performance, I think we found a setup that offers a nice balance between the graphical fidelity and performance. In our optimized settings, we turned the view distance down to medium, we put the shadows up to high, anti-aliasing was also on high, textures we put to epic, effects we put down to medium, and post-processing we also put to high. And at these settings, we were able to maintain an average somewhere between the 110 and 130 frames per second mark, perfect for anybody that's using a FreeSync monitor or running at either a 120 or a 144Hz refresh rate. Also, by turning down the effect settings, we were able to clean up a lot of that visual clutter, such as the animation on trees that, while looking very nice, can very easily distract the eyes when scanning for movement. Sure, it's not quite as advantageous as playing the way that the pros choose to play, but it's certainly a lot better than playing on epic settings. We actually see around a 40% increase in performance over the epic settings, and also managed to remove quite a lot of that visual clutter. While recording for this video, I actually played using these optimized settings quite a lot and managed to bag myself quite a few victory royales, showing that while it's nice to have the super high frame rates and clarity of low settings, it's certainly not needed. I suppose there's a whole discussion to be had on the competitive advantages of playing at certain settings, and in some ways it is one of the worst and the very best things about PC gaming all at the same time. But with that said, we also managed to get quite a few wins running on the Epic preset, so there is certainly a lot of flexibility available here. Personally, when I play multiplayer only games, I like to target a nice stable 120 frames per second while having the graphics looking as pretty as possible. So that is what I was targeting when coming up with these optimized settings for the SAPPHIRE Nitro Plus RX 580, and I certainly think that we achieved that. Overall, I was very happy with this card's ability to offer that sort of flexibility. 60 FPS epic settings for those that want their games looking all pretty, 240 FPS competitive settings for those that want every single advantage, and 120 FPS for people like me that really want a decent balance of both. So yeah, I have absolutely no problem with recommending the SAPPHIRE Nitro Plus RX 580 to anybody that's looking to upgrade or build their first gaming computer for Fortnite. But with that said, I think that we've come to the end of the video, and if you are new around here, you really should consider slapping that subscribe button to be notified of new videos from us in future. And if you found this video helpful in any way, leave us a like so we know to make more like this in future. Also, feel free to leave any questions or feedback in the comment section below this video. And once again, I have been Pixel Twitch. Thank you very much from myself and the whole team at SAPPHIRE for watching, and until next time, have a good one guys. Bye bye.